Hi, welcome back to another TerranScapes video. This video is going to be sort of a general update. How are things going in the studio? What are some of my thoughts lately? If you are a new subscriber, welcome. This is an unconventional video, really, but you might, I don't know, you might judge this as whether it has value to you to be a subscriber when you get to see inside my dark recesses of my terrain brain. And if you're just a visitor, welcome, and I'm glad that all of you have joined me. So first I just wanted to extend a very sincere thank you to all of my viewers who continue to send me comments and tips and links that they've found. I've even seen a few people on Twitter doing that, and it just, I've learned new things. I keep coming across new things because of you, and sometimes they're things I already know, but don't let that discourage you. Keep sending those to me because it's you know, I've always said that my viewers are a resource. They're not just a, you know, this isn't just a one-way exchange. So anyway, I just wanted to extend a thank you to everybody who's been doing that. I really do appreciate it. I wanted to also share that I have sort of rebooted TerranScapes, and I've really made some substantial changes, I think, to the way TerranScapes looks and the way it will be operating going forward. If you have been to the website, TerranScapes.com, you may have noticed that I've totally redone it. I used Squarespace for my website design. They are not sponsoring me, but they do sponsor a lot of people. So if they wanted to sponsor me, I'd be happy to put in a little Squarespace plug every now and then. But I have to say, their templates are dead sexy, really, and it wasn't too hard to set up the site. I made it considerably more difficult for myself, as you can imagine, because I wanted to tweak and fix and, you know, see what I could do and, you know, search all of the templates for the one that I thought was the best. So it could have taken me a half an hour, and instead it took me 10. But in any case, I really like how the website came out, and it showcases the pictures a lot better. And as I move forward, and I'm taking different photos now in terms of style, and you know, at the new camera, I think it's going to work out really, really well for me. But you will also notice that there is no longer a store option. I won't be accepting orders in that fashion anymore. If you have placed an order, perhaps even as long ago as August, and I have not filled it yet, this is why I am changing the system. It has been really untenable for me for a variety of reasons, but mainly it is creating a backlog, partly because I'm always trying to improve pieces, and then I'm always behind the 8-ball dollar-wise because the piece has already been paid for, and I'm putting in more work into it than when I originally listed it, and then when I revise the price for my new quality, the next time I do it, I'm behind again. So it's not really a good format for me, and I've been enjoying a lot of the larger custom projects that I've been doing, and so that's the format I'm going to go forward with. So apologies to all of you who were hoping that the store was going to be reopening and that you wanted to pick up, you know, some smaller items, but it's just been more than I can manage, and I need to sort of condense, if you will, what I can focus on. And I'm very excited about the opportunity to have one project at a time that I can dedicate myself exclusively to it. I think that's going to allow me to maximize the kinds of skills I can bring to bear on it. It's going to alleviate some of my tickling worries about who I'm getting to and who I'm not. And I'm happy to say that at this moment it looks like my work queue may be filled until the end of this year. I have had several customers who've been sitting in the custom queue waiting patiently, eternally patiently, for me to get to them, and now I should be able to move through that queue a little bit easier, but some of these are big projects. So of course when I start working on these, you know I'm going to be coming to you with them, some of the insights, some of the new things that I've been trying. But I was a little surprised and pleasantly so that people still value my work. I have raised my prices a little bit to reflect that market demand, and people seem to appreciate, you know, the quality that I'm giving. So it's very flattering, and I want to thank them for believing in me. I have a few things that I want to get out of the shop, which I alluded to in a previous video. One of them is the rest of my Hearst Arts molds. I offered them for sale to my patrons on Patreon first, and there were a handful that got snatched up. But I am moving away from Hearst Arts. It's just a step I feel like is right for me, and as I've been working on more things, I find I'm tapping into them less and less. So I'm offering them up at a very reasonable price. If you've ever looked at Hearst Arts molds, the standard price is about $32, and they tend to hold their resale value very well, mainly because the molds hold up very well. So I'm going to be offering them for $25 each. I'm going to put a link down below in the description. There's going to be a lot of stuff in the description for this video, so hopefully you'll go down and check some of it out. But I've created a page. There's only going to be one copy of each mold that is going to be available, and once it's purchased, the PayPal button should say unavailable after that. If there's any confusion, I will do my best to sort that out, but I think it's going to work all right. So that's going to be, first come, first serve. Feel free to tap into them. Should I have some left over that nobody seems to want, I'll probably wait a couple weeks for this. I might go over to the Hearst Arts forum and just sort of make a, hey, I got molds, anybody want them, low price, and see if I can move them out that way. Now, in addition to that, I was going to bring this stack over here. Hold on, I'm going to bring one. Oh, this is a good one. Oh. All right. This is going to be an informal video and a little bit longer, so put it on while you paint. But check this out first. I went through and I collected all of the casts that I had. Since I'm not going to be going forward with them, I decided to let them go away as quick as I could for a very cheap price, really, for the amount of labor that was put into making them. I have several boxes, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, I believe, which each have basically 2 molds in them. This is the Dragon's Inn and the Wizard's Tower. And I took all the casts for those 2 molds that I had, and I put them in this box. This is a flat rate box, so it will ship at a flat price. Ooh, I can't remember. $12? Maybe? I'll look it up. You know me. I'll put the note up here in the corner. But then you can have these casts for $10, and if you have done any casting at all, you know that's a lot of blocks. That's a lot of blocks. But the boxes each have different amounts of blocks in them, and maybe I'll tweak the price down a couple bucks if I feel like there's not a lot in there. But really, I just want to see these go away. As I mentioned, they're taking up a big corner of the studio, and I have a feeling there are many of you out there who would love to get your hands on it. I remember that I've put the 2 molds together in the box that I think are complementary. So you should be able to get a pretty good assortment of things that work together to build whatever you want. And of course, you can always pick up a matching mold if it's available and use that as a way to boost some of the rarer pieces that are in here. Last comment, I think I just blew out the mic. There are a variety of qualities of plaster in the casts as well. Some include the very first plaster I used. This is Merlin's Magic. Some is Tough Stone. Some is Ultra Cal. I've shifted plasters a lot over the years, so there's a little bit of a variety in there and a little bit of variety of quality, as some of these are a little older, so they might have some bubbles in them, but many of them are newer, so I was using the vacuum chamber for them. So that's probably enough about them. I'm going to have a page for those, and you can purchase those, and that page will be linked in the description. So I thought also that I would take a moment and just share a little bit about how I've been working lately, and some of my own observations. Frequently people comment on my videos saying that I'm maybe a little too hard on myself, and it made me stop and think, how do I approach work actually when I'm working on it? And I found I actually have like 2 phases. When I'm working on the terrain directly, I just kind of zone out and zone in. There's no time, there's no worries. It's just me thinking about how to maximize the vision that I see for it. And then there's when I'm not doing terrain and I'm scrambling around the studio trying to clean it, answer emails, make sure, do a video, get all the gear set up, do all that. Although when I'm shooting the video, I am relaxed. So it's this weird dichotomy that I have of like two faces, if you will, when I'm doing work for it. But it was nice to know that nice to realize that I sort of don't feel pressured to do something quickly when I'm actually working on the piece. It's probably sometimes why I'm so behind and sometimes not making a lot of money, but it's the way I feel most comfortable working with that piece, and I think that's the way I get the most out of it. So that made me feel kind of good, actually. But if ever I look a little stressed out, or I feel like, I'm disappearing from Twitter, or, I'm late responding to emails, I am frantically running around trying to deal with all that stuff as best I can. So I don't know if that's good or bad, but that's kind of how I am. And I thought I would take a look and see where's my time going, actually. And I'm learning more and more about that. So I have 3 categories I've been tracking. How many hours do I spend researching? So that's going to be maybe doing tests for a new technique, or going online and looking for photos, or going to other websites and seeing how they do stuff, or maybe online tutorials, whatever I can find. Then I have the time I spend on video production, as that is a significant component of my time, so I wanted to see how I do with that. And then I was tracking how much time I've been spending on Patreon and emails, primarily emails. Patreon's actually a pretty small component. I didn't write down what I've been doing for research. That fluctuates actually quite a bit, but I've been spending about 6 hours a week on videos. Oh, that's actually in some ways better than I thought, but it's obviously a substantial component. And I've been spending about 11 hours on emails. How crazy is that? It's because I'm so type A, right? That some emails take me an hour to compose if they're long, because I go back over them, I check them for grammar, I check them for spelling, I make sure all the punctuation is the right. I think, sometimes people take email a little too casually, and for me, it's like writing a letter to your senator. I want it to be right, and so I spend a little extra time on that. So it was kind of like, whoa, I spend a lot of time on that. And in fact, this past week, since I rebooted the site, I got barraged by emails from people, which was, again, it was really flattering, and I guess a lot of people were waiting to have me be in a spot to contact, but it did mean that I have been buried under email for the last few days. I'm starting to get on top of it, and things are going to roll a little smoother going forward. But, I don't know. It's been a little nutty. But anyway, there's a little insight into kind of how things work in the studio beyond actually, painting and sculpting and pushing plaster around. And I call it slinging plastic when I'm casting. So I thought also that I would give you a Patreon update. How has that been working out? I've been on Patreon for, I think, a little over 2 months, or maybe just coming up on the 2-month mark. And it has been an interesting adventure, if you will. I want to first extend a huge thank you to my supporters who have joined Patreon, become a patron of mine. It means a lot, and it is already helping me. In fact, I took the first month's support and I purchased a new light. I really wanted another accent light when I am shooting videos at the desk here at the workbench, because when I take these 2 lamps and I want to light that brightly, I am basically within the shells of them. It is awkward. Let's just say that, all right? So, plus sometimes I have the camera right over my shoulder. It's like I'm like I don't know. I'm like a Tetris piece trying to twist and turn to fit into the slot. Tetris. That's an old man's reference. Go look it up if you're a young kid. But this allowed me to buy a relatively inexpensive LED light. I like it. It's got barn doors. Looks fancy. It's not, but it looks fancy. And they do help. And also an inexpensive tripod. I'm a little worried about the quality of it, but I shouldn't be messing around with it too much. And also to buy a reflector. This, I'm not going to take it out because it took me a while to twist it all back up and get it in here. But basically this unfolds into a circle, about yay big. And it's got white and silver on it, and so I can use it as a complementary light reflector, and that's a very common way to extend your lighting, so that, and also to soften it on one side. And I haven't played with it too much yet, but when I am going to do larger shoots in bigger areas, I think it's going to be very helpful. It wasn't very expensive, and it makes a nice complement to this whole set. And one of the nice things about the LEDs is then I can put, oh, look, I took it off for the video. And then I can put a piece of wax paper over it. I don't have to worry about the wax paper melting, and I can create a very inexpensive diffuser for it. So really excited about this light, and I used it in the last video, I think, with the difficult terrain, and this was the light that George knocked over, and that's why I was like, because it is, you know, it's pretty light. Sometimes I have the tripod kind of closed up, so it has a smaller footprint. And I expect to see this helping me in future videos so that I can push these lights back away from me and feel like I'm not in a 1980s video game. So anyway, I really just wanted to thank the patrons for that and show them that that support is going right back into TerranScapes. So I also wanted to mention a little bit about some of the goals and how I've been approaching those. One of the goals was to get a new lens for the camera, and I've actually pushed that goal back because the lenses I'm looking at are a little more expensive, and it will take a little while for the support to probably help me with that. And so I've basically moved it off, even though it's listed as a goal reached. But yeah, I'm going to put that in the back burner for just a little bit. If you're interested, I'm currently looking in my price range, which is hopefully around $500, for the Tamron 28-70 f2.8 lens. I think that would be a great addition, being able to shoot at 2.8. If you know anything about photography, you probably understand what I'm saying, and if you don't know anything about photography, don't worry about it. But it's not the highest quality lens. It's a little soft. I probably want to do a little more research on it, research hours. And if somebody knows lenses and thinks that that's a good choice or a bad choice, feel free to leave a comment down below. I really would appreciate that. It's very scary buying a lens because they're very expensive. The first one I was looking at was $1,000, and that's not expensive for a good lens. So feedback, guidance, always welcome. Always would appreciate that. One of the goals that has been hit, that I am sort of getting ready for mentally, is 2 reviews per month. So I've made a commitment to do 2 reviews in addition to all my regular videos, and I'm going to try to make them mini videos. So they'll be real short. I'm going to bring you up, show you the product, tell you a couple quick things about it, pros, cons, what I like, and then wrap it up real quick. I think that'd be kind of a fun addition to the sort of, what do we call this, the menagerie of videos that I produce. And one of the goals that's pretty close to being hit is to do 1 a week, but it'd probably be like 4 sometime within the month, because I'll probably bunch them up here or separate them out there, or I don't know. But anyway, so I'm trying to think about how I can reach that goal without it becoming, you know, overly burdensome. The goal is to make sure that I can continue to expand content for you, and if I burn myself up trying to do 50 hours of videos a month or something like that, that probably will not be sustainable. So I'm going to make it work, and I'm kind of excited about it. I got a lot of stuff that I don't see anybody else talking about, and some of it's pretty cool. So, you know, one of the options on the Patreon system is to be able to make suggestions for things you'd like reviewed, but lacking suggestions, I've got plenty of things to show you. I have stuff I haven't even used yet. So, anyway, so that's a change, a goal that was hit. Expect some reviews. I am not putting this camera away until I shoot 2 reviews, which I have, and those reviews are going to result in giveaways, and I want to shoot that as well. I just cleaned the whole studio. I don't like shooting videos when it's dirty. It's like when I was in college. When I wanted to study for a final, a test, first thing I did, clean my whole room. I don't like distractions. Clean my whole room, then I'm ready to do the fine detail work. So I'm the same with that. So this is, especially when I'm kind of in between some projects, it's nice. It's nice. I got to paint the floor, though. It's really beat up. I am a little drifty here, but it's kind of fun. I don't usually do this. A little one-off. That's kind of nice, right? Let's see. What else? Oh, I recently supported another Patreon creator. And I had been thinking about this creator for a while, so I'm sharing a little insight here for a reason which will become evident in a second. But it was really interesting. I think about giving money to people very, very carefully. And I'm very reluctant, usually, to support charities for a variety of reasons, even charities I really believe in. But, you know, money's a little tight, and there's a whole bunch. Plus, it's not something I actually feel a tangible connection to. And this artist produces a daily webzine, webcomic, called Questionable Content. And I'll put a link down to it as well. I told you there's going to be a few. But it's my daily page that I open. It's a serialized comic. You get to know the characters and see their lives develop. It's themed on the city near here, Northampton. So you get some of the quirkiness of Northampton thrown in there. And I saw he has a gobload of supporters. And I was like, he doesn't need my money. And but then I thought about it, and I thought, he gives me a laugh almost every morning, and that has a value to me. And I was like, I can kick in $1 a month. He produces a comic every day. So what is that? 5 times 420. What is that? It's a nickel a day for something I really enjoy. And it was a nice way for me to think about Patreon from a patron perspective. So it was a little insightful, and it made me think that I make this sort of my, probably for a long time, last sort of pitch, if you will, for my Patreon page. In that, I don't normally pat myself on the back very much. And you probably have noticed that. Many of you comment on my rather aggressive critiquing of myself when I'm looking at my own work. But I thought I would take a rare moment and sell myself. If this is gross, skip this. But I don't do this very often, so I thought I would share with you what I think my YouTube channel offers and why I would ask for support. And I didn't really do this before in this kind of a way. But I know that, I feel confident, how about that? I feel confident that the quality that I give you in terms of visual and audio quality is amongst the highest out there in the sort of terrain and gaming environments. It's very important to me to look professional. I want it to be high quality. I want it to be visually pleasing. So it's not something I'm doing, you know, because I've been doing it forever and I've been trying to increase it. You go back to my old videos. Whew, yeah. Whew, there's some brutally bad videos back there. But that's in the past. I'm learning all the time. But I do know that I'm giving some of the best quality in terms of the quality of video that is available. I also realize that I think I'm one of the most consistent producers out there. It doesn't mean I'm the highest volume, but it does mean that over the last 4 or 5 years, I have always been here. I've never taken a break. I've always produced a consistent number of videos. I actually went back for the last year and I counted each month how many videos did I produce for the month and what was my average. And it was kind of interesting. I don't do this all the time. What do I do, right? Where do I spend my time? How many videos do I make? I don't even think about this. You should see when I do my taxes. I'm like, oh, that's how much I made? I don't pay attention to it. But my adolescence coming out. But I decided that I would take a look at it. And I found that there were a couple odd months. There was like a month I only did 3. And then there was a month I did 11. But overall, pretty consistently, 6 to 7 maybe a month. over that time. And I realize I don't know many other channels that I have followed for a long time that are that consistent. And I thought that's kind of a plus for my channel. I felt kind of good about that, and kind of good. See, I'm always hedging it. I felt good about it. And I want to increase that. My new goal is to average 8 a month. I think these mini reviews will be part of that. But I want to continue to drive my quality of content forward. So I felt good about the consistency that I have given over the many years. I also feel like I'm showing some of the highest quality work, and I don't normally say that about myself, but I know my work is of the higher quality, and I think sharing with you some of my ideas on how I did that has some value, and I just like doing it, and I can't stop talking about how I think. It's called metacognition. If you don't know that word, look it up. It explains a lot of me, sometimes in an obsessive way. But anyway, I felt like that's got value for my channel. And I also feel like I respond to every comment I get, maybe except one or two every now and then if I'm feeling really pressed and they're just like a kudos. But I like to respond to every comment. I don't know many other people who do that. And I also always happy to give advice in the comments. I get a lot of emails asking for advice. Where can I find this? How can I do that? And I know I don't do tutorials in the way I envision them. And this is a good stopgap measure for me because I like to give back to the community. So I feel like that is an asset for my channel. I think it's been part of the reason why it's been successful. And it is something that's important to me and that I enjoy quite a bit. But that's my pitch. I don't know. I feel a little uncomfortable doing it. I felt uncomfortable getting on Patreon to start with. But when I saw not Overcompensating, that was another comic I followed. But when I saw Questionable Content and I thought about how I related to it, it made me think about what I offer. And I realized I think it does have some value. So what I thought is that if you were interested in supporting me, even at the low value of $1 a month, so you could say $1 per video and cap it at $1 per month, that would equal, if I was doing 6 to 8 videos, that's like 15 cents a video. It's not too much. And it would mean a lot to me, and it would help me to reach some of those other goals. You can see the goals there on the Patreon page, and you know, a lot of the goals are for you. And I want to do them because I like this. I like these videos. I like making them. I like the artistic element that it gives me. It's different than making terrain. I like trying to edit the videos and tweak the colors, and I like trying to learn what lenses are going to make them look better, and I like, you know, working on the lighting, and it's become its own part of being TerranScapes. I like sharing that with you, and I'd like to continue to explore it in ways that Patreon might help me. So there's my pitch. I won't make a pitch again, at least for a year. But it was something that I thought about, and I thought I would share with you. So, nothing's going to change, though. There's no downturn. There's only upturns coming up. Oh, and I forgot. One other thing that I thought was a plus for my channel. I don't have ads. And I had yet another person argue that I should have ads on my channel. I have people telling me, put ads on your channel. You're dumb. Why are you not doing that? Ugh. I feel stupid, but I can't do it. I can't do it. I hate shilling for people. Well, always learning, always learning. I forgot my camera has a 1/2 hour maximum record time, and so it cut me off mid-sentence. Always learning. So I guess I'm going to need to set up like a little clock or an alarm or something to remind me to shut off the camera since I don't have a cameraman back there. But anyway, that means I'm, you know, going a little long here, so I'll wrap it up and finish my sentiment. I had to take the card over to the computer and see what was my last thing I was talking about. Shilling for people that I don't like. I just don't want to do it. And this is not a critique of anybody else out there who has ads on their site. I think I'm somewhat in the minority in the way I think about quite a few things, actually. Very few people share my philosophies. But it is, for me, I just can't do it. And I probably would consider it if I could select the people who advertise or the companies who advertise on my page. But I can't do that. And I won't promote things that I don't like. So, no ads. Another benefit of the TerranScapes crazy train video collection. I don't know. Getting a little rambly now. And that whole interruption has just broken my whole thread. But I think I'll just wrap it up by saying thank you so much for everybody for joining me for this video. If you followed through to the end, new subscribers, welcome. I hope you find something here that inspires or helps you with your own terrain. And you know, people who just dropped in for just this video, it's not like most of them, but if you don't look at any others, thank you for stopping by anyway. And even the people who don't like my Patreon pitch, and that's fine. In fact, I had the most thumbs down ever on one video, and that was my Patreon video. I got 4. That's twice as many as I've ever gotten on a video, which is kind of good, actually. Thank you. You guys are nice to me. But I get it, and I'm okay with you not liking it, and I still want you to come back also. I appreciate all my viewers. You guys are closer to me than you may think. And anyway, I have a ton of stuff to shoot, but I will be getting out those 2 reviews and the giveaways for them. I'm making a commitment before the end of this month because I'm going to leave the camera set up tonight. So I shoot it first thing in the morning. I'm not breaking down the lights. I'm in actually a good little pause in my workflow right now, and I got most of the crush of the reboot of TerranScapes out of the way. So why not? Let's just shoot a few videos. I say that sometimes, and then I don't. But I'm pretty committed, so expect to see another video or 2 come out at least within the next couple days after this one goes live. And after that, I don't know where we'll go. I got a long list of stuff to do. I've got more things to review. It's, you know, we'll see. We'll go there together. So anyway, thanks for joining me for a rather unusual video. These probably won't be very frequent, but I do appreciate it, your viewership, and hopefully you'll all come back and join me again for another TerranScapes video. All right, double check that it's running, because I don't want to do this twice. This is, I prepped a load. I've prepped a load.